Welcome back to my studio. Today we have the fourth? Today we have the next in our series of blue ink comparisons. I have 4 more blue inks for you. We're going to start with one that I thought I had done in the first video, which is Pilot Iroshizuku Kon Peki. I was pretty sure I had done this before, but somebody pointed out to me that I hadn't, and thank you for that, because it's one I certainly overlooked and didn't intend to. We're going to follow that by an ink that I have just discovered. I'd never heard of this company before. It's called Troublemaker ink, and we have Blue Guitar. At least I think it's Blue Guitar. It may be Guitar Blue. I think I've seen it both ways. We're going to follow that with Ferris Wheel Press Jelly Bean Blue. And we're going to finish up with Pilot Namiki Blue. It'll be interesting to see how this compares with the Kon Peki. It's about half the price from the same company. So, let's do our swatches and our writing samples and see how they compare. See which ones you like.
So the 4 inks we have today are Pilot Iroshizuku Kon Peki. We have a new one I discovered. This is Troublemaker Guitar Blue. This ink is, oh look, it's made in the Philippines. My wife is from the Philippines. Next we have the Pilot Namiki Blue. And last but not least, we have Ferris Wheel Press. This is their Jelly Bean Blue. So let's make some swatches and do some writing samples. We're going to start with the Kon Peki. I apologize. I had thought that I had reviewed this ink in the first blue ink comparison that I did. But when I was reviewing my inks the other day, in preparation for this video, I discovered that I hadn't. So let's correct that. Here is the swatch. This is really a nice blue. It's sort of a cyan blue. Very, very close to an ink review we reviewed in the last video, the Noodler's Elysium, what is it? Liberty's Elysium. So in a previous video, I had asked for your feedback on using the broad nib and doing broad nib samples with this. And it was requested that I should do them with the glass nib that I'm doing here. If I could learn to spell brown, I'd be doing well, wouldn't I? So what I'm going to do is when I finish the glass nib set writing sample, I'll use the broad nib and give you a sample of what that looks like. So the two will be side by side. Yeah, some fool keeps pulling this notepad down from where I had it originally positioned so that the whole thing would show. So at the end of this, I'll show you an image of the completed page. So rinse the two nibs and put this away, and we'll try the Troublemaker ink. This is called Blue Guitar, or Guitar Blue. Guitar Blue is what it's called. So let's see how the guitars look. Oh, look at, wow, that's so close to the Kon Peki. Wow, that's amazing. And it's significantly less. The bottles look quite different, but they, the Kon Peki, I think, they're both 60 milliliter. The Troublemaker ink is 60 milliliters. And it's half the price of the Pilot ink. And this color is so close to the Kon Peki. I discovered this Troublemaker ink on WonderPen's website. It's wonderpens.ca, I believe. And they have a really interesting selection of colors. We'll be looking at more of them in later videos, but I'm quite impressed with the color selection that they have. And the inks so far, haven't had them very long, but so far they seem quite good. Now for the broad pen writing sample, broad nib writing sample. See, struggling to spell brown. I think it's a poor mind that can only come up with one way to spell a word. I've always been a creative speller. But you can see how close that is to the Kon Peki. Next, we're going to try Ferris Wheel Press Jelly Bean Blue. This is a darker blue and an equally lovely color. If you've never experienced the Ferris Wheel Press inks before, I did a review on the sample pack that I bought, and I'll put a link for that in the description below. But their packaging, it'll just blow you away. It is so gorgeous. They just pay so much attention to their packaging, and the quality of their inks is absolutely wonderful. Canadian company out of Markham, Ontario, and for those of you who don't know the area, that's basically suburban Toronto. they too have some really, really nice looking inks. Now the sample bottle I have here is a little narrower than the nib holder for the broad nib, so I have to tilt the bottle quite a bit to get any ink to flow onto the nib. And as you can see, I'm not getting a lot. And our last ink here is the Pilot Namiki. This is a less expensive ink than their Iroshizuku line. It's about half the price. Yeah, not quite. It's about $20 on Amazon CA. And again, it's a 60 milliliter bottle. I will give you an image of the whole pad when we're done here. Because I realize we're moving off the bottom here a little bit. Bottom of the image, bottom of the screen. So there you have the 4 ink samples with the writing samples. What do you think? The first 2 are quite close together, but the last 2 are quite different.
I was really surprised to see how close in tone and color the Kon Peki and the Guitar Blue or Blue Guitar were. They're almost identical. Looking at my writing samples as they've dried, the Guitar Blue or Blue Guitar may be just a hair darker, but they're so close. The Troublemaker inks are out of the Philippines, And from where I discovered them on wonderpens.ca, they appear to have a really nice range of colors, and they appear to be very popular because on the wonderpen.ca website, they're almost all sold out. So worth checking out. And again, it's about half the price of the Kon Peki. The Ferris Wheel Press, it's a really beautiful tone. It's a darker blue, not quite a blue-black, but a nice, deep, rich blue. Very nice ink. I really enjoyed this. And the packaging on the Ferris Wheel Press ink it's stunning. We'll be looking at more of the Ferris Wheel Press inks. I'm going to be doing a review on some green inks shortly, and I have some green ink from Ferris Wheel Press. The Pilot Namiki blue, this is a really nice blue. It's a blue similar to the Waterman Serenity blue or the Parker Quink blue, washable blue. It's a nice everyday blue. I quite like it. And once again, it's about half the price of the Iroshizuku inks. So I hope you found something useful in this video. If you did, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. I look forward to seeing you soon. Stay safe, take care of each other, and keep writing.